Hi, I'm Dr. Hentzen. We're going to talk today about effective feedlotting. So what is effective feedlotting about? It's something that we create or do to get with the aim of getting a desired and intended result. That could be part of our main business, obviously to make a profit. On the other side, it could be part of a substantial supplementary to other agribusinesses. One of that would be agronomy. If you're an agronomist and you have maize stover, you can use some calves to utilize that maize stover. If you have a mainstream business, like for example a slaughter facility, and you want to buy in some calves, or actually, and which is pretty practical this year, is that you have and you want to add to a already cow-calf production. So what I'm trying to say with that is that you have some calves that you want to fatten up, that you want to increase. So we're going to talk about effective feedlotting that helps you with that. There's three main areas that we're going to focus on. The first one will be preconditioning. I'm going to talk in later videos what that entitles. The next one will be the health, to keep those animals healthy. And the last one will be the cost effectiveness production. Today we're going to talk about preconditioning. What is preconditioning? Preconditioning in the feedlot is that we prepare the animal for the feedlot period. So that involves a few things. We can also refer to it as cornerstones. The first thing will be commingling, or the stress. We know that a lot of the disease that are caused in the feedlot is because of stress. So preconditioning addresses that as a major factor. Stress, where does the stress come from? To just name a few, will be commingling. What we refer to in commingling is if you buy cattle from different auctions, from different origins, you bring them together and you add them together, there's stress for these cows. You can compare that as well as you would be in boarding school. You don't know each other, you're stressful, you don't like each other, but as time goes by, you get at ease because you need to get to know each other. The same is with the feedlot animal. So preconditioning gives the animal time to get to know each other. There's a hierarchy formed. There are dominant animals and less dominant animals. By adding those animals together in a big space or bigger space than the feedlot pen, gives the animal the chance to move away. If there's an aggression or the dominant animal attacks him, so to speak, then he can move away. But yet, around the water trough and around the feeding trough, there's some interaction. And those interactions are on a low stress level because once again the animal can move away. The same scenario in the feedlot. They are enclosed in a pen, so the small animal or the less aggressive animal, he cannot move away freely. So they're stressful and the aggressive animal can run after him and get to him, which is not the case in preconditioning. So we reduce the stress that way and we give them time to sort out the hierarchy that they need into the feedlot. The next one would be the ration. We getting animals in, might be if it's your own calves or even calves that we buy in, they come in from a sawfield or a sweet field or whatever, different type of grass, artificial pasture, whatever the case might be. So now they come to your feedlot and now you need to adapt them. So that rumen is not adapted to your ration or to your grass. So, and that takes time. Those microorganisms in that rumen needs time to adjust, and preconditioning is exactly that. So you can actually start feeding the ration that you intend to feed in the feedlot beforehand to get adjustment of those rumen microorganisms in a healthy way. The next one is a micromineral status, and that's quite an important one. We know that the ground in South Africa is at large, and a lot of the southern hemisphere is deficient in a few microminerals. Let's say selenium for one. So the animals usually come into the feedlots, into the intensive systems with a deficit. So that's the one point. The next point is once they come into an intensive system, even if it's a preconditioning phase, the stress increases, so they need more of the microminerals like chromium, which is important for your stress. And then over and above that, they need to react to microorganisms that they all got in via the vaccination or that they get exposed to friends and foes that they come from other origins. So what I'm trying to say is the exposure of new microorganisms is higher, which means the animal needs to react to them. But therefore he needs a lot of those microminerals. So it's absolutely important that we use a really good product like Multimin from Verbeck that we inject them with at the time when we put them into processing, into preconditioning. The health. The health is the other important one. It gives us time to prepare those animals for the feedlot where there's a really big challenge of pathogens or possible pathogens. So for the animal to have a really good immune reaction, it takes anything between 35-42 days, but not less than that. So we can actually give them some vaccinations. We can make sure that they're free of parasites, and we're going to get in more detail in the next video when we talk about the health. But we clean them up from parasites and so forth. And all of this is that we get a best health out of these calves. So it takes time for the ticks to fall off. It takes time for those animals to react against the immunization that we've given them, and for that immune reaction to develop. And again, under a low stress environment, which is the preconditioning. So by the time they come into the feedlot, they're actually well prepared, and their protection is quite advanced, so that the challenge they're going to face in an intensive system, they can withstand that. And then the last one is production. So with preparing those animals, as we said so far, their rumen, their immune status, the micromineral status and so forth, makes that these calves already start performing in the preconditioning phase. Now we were talking about that you prepare your own calves for a feedlot, for your own feedlot. And there's an ideal situation where you can actually, a calf of 6 months already, you can actually give some growth stimulants already. Now if we talk about calves that we're giving growth stimulants, then I'm only talking about calves that are going into a feedlot situation, not any replacement heifers or animals that are used for production, like in breeding. So this is definitely not for breeding animals. Zeromec from Verbeck is one of those. You can actually give it already with 6 months. So it's very cost effective there. The calf still runs with the mother, but we have the benefit of good growth, once again, which takes you through right to the preconditioning and finishing phase in the feedlot. The end results of preconditioning, if you do the preconditioning, which has been proven, is that we have two benefits. One, the health and the production in the feedlot is better. So which means if you do preconditioning, your health and your production in the feedlot is better. Things that we look at is lower lung diseases. So we need to treat less animals, which means there's a lesser cost. There's less animals that we need to pull for a second time. There's less animals which are chronics, which are usually absolutely lost. And obviously less deaths, which is a highly economically important one. And on the production side, just because you do the preconditioning, your ADG in the feedlot is better. You have an improved feed conversion, and the results of some studies have shown if you do preconditioning versus non-preconditioning, you can easily look at 11 kilogram more carcass that you can sell. You can times that by what you're getting at the moment for your carcass, and you see it's quite cost effective.